had those opportunities. That's the most frustrating thing, because we had opportunities to score the way that they were scoring. They just were able to finish when they got down in the score zone. So that's something that we've got to take care of. That's something that we've got to be able to execute better down there. Because at the end of the day, you're going to play great teams. This conference is full of teams that that are going to make you work. So we got.
Coach talks about the injuries a lot, not making excuses, but the fact is, it makes you guys thin. I mean, how much has that hurt you guys to have to play young players?
Yeah, I mean, it's the reality of the game we play. It's just what it is. Yeah, are we banged up? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, nobody cares. We got to line up. Whatever safety's in, he has to play. Whatever linebacker's in, he has to play. We're trying to establish a standard here, and it doesn't matter who's in the game. We got to be able to execute, and we got to make sure we're putting them in positions to do that.
A couple weeks in a row of this, mood in the locker room kind of the same as it was last week?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing because you don't get so many opportunities in the year, as you know, and when you invest so much, you really want to see some reward at the end of the day, and obviously not getting the win, it hurts. It hurts those singers, and if it hurts those guys, it hurts us as well. Very disappointing.
We all need to buy in to what the coaches have consistently been drilling to us, that we're a great team. We just need to be consistent. There's a lot of things on the field, as you can see, being inconsistent as far as turnovers or, lost leverage on big plays and plays. We just need to be consistent with our responsibilities and just do our jobs, and that's about it. We take those away, the missed assignments and the big plays, we're in the game. So we just got to take care of the little things. As a defense, we're feeling that we have to take it upon ourselves to create turnovers and score.
He's at the other end
as
of
a
the hallway.
defense, to give the team an opportunity as well. We can't just rely on the offense.
Coach Beatty here down the middle room.
We got to put our end on the table and just help the offense out as well. It's not a one-sided thing. We're in it as a team, so we have to help do the best we got to do to get the offense a great field advantage. And just stop the offense, stop our opponents. So
I have to sit back and really look at it. I think we didn't run the ball very well, obviously, and that was a little bit disappointing. What happens is, you kind of get out of your game plan a little bit because they get ahead a little bit, and like I said, we had a chance to keep it within reach on the drive. We get down there and we just come away with no points, and now it's a different game. Now you got to kind of abandon the run a little bit and try to get more pass oriented, and that's not really what we need to be doing for the people that we have or the players that we have. So that's disappointing. I think we just got to do better, all of us, and that's kind of where it is. Transition is tough, but we got to make sure that we do everything to put these guys in a position to be successful, and that means coaching better, and we got to do a better job.
We just got to get our identity back. Especially on the defensive side. We want to be able to shut people down, play with a lot of energy and a high motor. And as soon as we get that back, we're going to get that fixed, go to practice this week, work hard, and get ready for Wisconsin.
What is the identity of this defense? Not as blitz happy as it was last year. Where do you stand right now?
It's different. It's not the same as last year. People always want to compare us to last year. We're not this. Not the same defense. We don't have the same players. So the coaches did a good job to adjusting to our personnel and what we can do best, and that's what we've been trying to do. As far as the defensive side, coaches are going to do their job. Players just got to do our job and go out there and execute.